Hi everyone, these are the Ponte Tresa fig cuttings, and last night I was looking at these and I think I had some mold issue on one of them, so I scrubbed them down a little bit. There was a little bit of white fuzz on some of the areas, not severe, and I decided to leave this one here alone, and it's a good thing too because I just noticed today it looks like there's a root right there. So again, today's the 21st, March 21st, second day of spring. Can you see that? There. Let me get that out of the way. See how close I can get. So right there. And it looks like there's something else going on. No, maybe not. But you can see that. But that will really grow overnight probably. So keep an eye on that. So I have my first roots on my Ponte Tresa fig cuttings. Let me cover this up again. I air it out every day, get some fresh air exchanged in here, fluff up the sphagnum moss. So making some progress. So 24 hours have passed. Today's March 22nd, and you can see here what was just an initial, I think it's more than doubled in length. And at this point, I think I would go ahead and put it in soil, but I need to bring in a bag of soil and let it thaw out, get to room temperature, and put some pine bark mix in it with some perlite, and get all that up to room temperature before I go ahead and transfer this to soil mix that I use now. I just go directly into soil because well, it works, and the less you disturb the roots, the better. So, you know, if you let this go for a couple of days, you'll have this long root that is very fragile and easily breaks. So as long as I have these initials, go ahead and put them in the soil mix that I use. And I have success, so I don't have to transfer from a perlite or vermiculite mix, you know, then to a soil mix. So we're progressing. Again, today's March 22nd, 24 hours after the first noticed the initial. Looks like there's another one right dead smack on the top there on the right. Unless that's a piece of moss, I don't think so. So there should be a root coming out of that too. Notice where the root is on this. It's right there at the junction where a stem would come out, a node. So let me go get that soil and bring it in, and then maybe tomorrow get these into a soil mix, into cups and into a bin. Yeah, so I don't think I want to put the cuttings into this soil at this temperature. Whoops, I almost broke my neck there. So let me get this into the cellar. So today's March 23rd. I want to put this one cutting in a cup. The other one doesn't even have any initials, root initials yet appearing. And you can see that I was right about the one on the very top. That has a root coming out of it now too. So let's get close. Whoop, too much. So you can see right there, there's two roots. So I want to put this in a cup right now, instead of waiting until they get really long and then breaking off, just getting it. They'll grow into the moss, and then you'll have to untangle it. And like I said, they're very fragile and tend to break off as you're potting these up. So. And this is the one with the terminal bud on it. So it seems to me from past experience that these tend to root quicker. instead of one that's, you know, from the center of a long cutting. This is really taking off. There's 3 roots visible right there, and it looks like I might have to break off. I might be breaking off a little fig. Is that a figlet? Might have to break that off. Looks like a fig. So let me carefully get this into a cup. Well, I located lone bag of perlite I have here, and I don't know if it breaks down on its own or what. It seems a lot dustier than I remember it. It's so hard to find very large size pieces of perlite. I think people buy like really large industrial quantities, and then they break it down in little baggies and charge astronomical prices for it. But I usually don't do this, but I decided to give this a try. I just found this little plastic sieve, and I'm just doing small quantities at a time. I only have 2 cups that I'm going to need for these fig cuttings. So this is what I'm putting this in here. I don't know if it's good to breathe this dust, but I just need a little bit, not much. So I gathered up just the 3 ingredients that I'm going to be mixing up and putting into these cups. I've got some nice organic garden soil. That's from last year, so it's probably broken down a little bit. I've got a lot of organics in there, as you can see. And I get this here. I used to sift the bags of nuggets, pine bark nuggets from Home Depot, and then someone suggested going to Agway, and they didn't think I had one close to me or near me, but I did. So I picked this up, and this is what I use, and some perlite that I sifted. Get some nice uniform pieces and get the powdery stuff out. So, I mean, basically, I just eyeball this. I really don't have any proportions here. And just like in the moss, where you have this high humidity and just all these air pockets of high humidity, this is almost the same idea, where you have all these pine bark chunks in here, and I'm going to use very little soil. What happens is you have all these little air pockets that are just really humid, and it retains. I'm going to have it in a bin, so it's going to be very humid anyways, and it really takes a long time to dry out, and these little air pockets retain all these high levels of moisture, and the roots get very little resistance, and they just seem to love it. Now, that's for me in the Northeast here. You know, I've said this before, if you're in hotter climates down south, a lot of times you just can take this and poke it into the soil and you're all set to go. And I've had people comment about that before. I'm like, well, if it was that easy, don't you think I'd be going that route? But it's a little bit more difficult. And you want to get them a little bit started a little bit earlier. I mean, the soil temperature here, when's it going to get into the 70s, like end of June maybe? So that looks good. You can see there I've got a lot of soil left over. So I already have my cup with the label on it and today's date. I'll put some in here. Now that, I'm just realizing, it's been a year since I've done this. That cutting is pretty long, so I think that's all I'll put in. Let's see. Just on a side note, this guy was calling me. I don't know who's got who trained. Chirping away. Oh, there he is. I've been throwing peanuts out. There's a whole bunch of blue jays too that come around. There he goes. He's got his favorite spot underneath that. What did I say that was? Scott pine? Oh, there's the blue jays going to try to steal it. Let me throw these out. So one of these blue jays is really timid. There he goes. That's probably a good trait because there's a really big hawk around here. He was quiet yesterday, so I had the impression something happened. Well, let's get back to putting that fig in the cup. So here's the cutting. And it has 3 roots on it. that one there was just the nub 2 days ago. And then that one, that's all from 24-hour period, the one right there. And then the new one I just noticed is right there. I did not know that was in existence. So this is a little fig. I'm going to take that off. Don't want that. Don't want energy going into that. So I'm just going to, so at least there's nothing on the really bottom, on the very bottom. I can just sit this without risk of breaking anything. This is almost like the perfect length, I think. And that goes in there. You can see how light this is. And then I'll water this in. And the water's just going to drain right through this. I'll tap this a little bit. There's fresh cutting there. We've got some latex coming out. So, tap this in. And I'm all set to go. This is going in the bin that I have the Catalina orchid in it. I've been documenting the swelling of those pseudopods, I think. Took some pictures and they look like they're getting a little bit larger. The Phalaenopsis is looking real good, but I think it's grown itself up out of the pot, so I need to get a nice orchid pot and repot that. Probably repot it even when it's in bloom, because I'm losing a couple of leaves. Well, that's my Ponte, I want to say Teresa, but I don't know why it's Tresa. And it's in the cup on March 23rd, 2016, and we'll look at this in a couple of weeks, or when I see the roots visible on the side of the cup. Might be just a week. You can see how much growth there is in a 24-hour period, so that might be, one of those roots might be to the edge of the cup within a week. Yeah, so I'm just going to water this in. That's that. Into the bin. So it's going in here. You can see it's over, I don't know if you can see that. It's over 50%. I'm just going to put this down here. Like so. I don't want to block that. So this is New England gardening with the first cutting of Ponte Tresa fig. Oh, is there another? Is that another fig? I have another figlet there. I think I have to break off right here. You can see here what I do is I damp these towels and just let them hang inside this fish tank here to increase the humidity. So this is New England gardening, and that's the first Ponte Tresa fig cutting, all potted up, well, in the cup, and we'll see, do an update once I see the roots coming to the side of the cup. So thanks for watching.